So this is the drive gear I'm going to be using for the electric motor to drive the pump. What I did is I took a 1/4-inch sheet of plywood and I cut out this small circle, and then I put JB weld and I wedged it in quite tightly. This is drying now. Now the next step, I have it all roughed up here. I sanded it with 80 grit sandpaper. I'm going to put this circle on top, and I'm going to glue it onto the wood and also onto the metal. So I'm going to use JB weld on the metal to wood, and I'm going to use wood glue between the two pieces. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to drill through to put the shaft, and then this is going to be driven by the motor. But I really find that using wood, it's not that strong, but it's plenty strong for a lot of applications, especially if you're not going to use it for many years. This gear I found just in a junkyard, it was in the garbage. This is a gear from some part of a car, and obviously it's not going to fit my application, but if I just take some pieces of wood, cut them up, put it together, it's very fast, easy, and cheap. Drill a hole as close to the center as I could. And this is so that I have the right shaft size for this motor now. It's the motor I found in the garbage. Now if you put this on here, it fits on perfectly. And it even just rotates the motor. You can see the windings in there rotating just from the friction. Now what I'm going to do additionally, it's really on there, I'm going to add some zip ties. I'm going to make 3 holes, and those zip ties are going to zip around these arms, so that'll hold the torque and it'll also hold this down. And then I can just cut the zip ties whenever I want if I want to switch this, just so it's not permanently attached to the motor. So I'm going to hold this gear down to the motor with these 3 zip ties. So there's a loop there in that shape, and each one is going to go around one of the arms. And then I'm going to pull it really tight. This is going to hold the gear down. So I pulled the 3 zip ties tight, and you can see underneath, you can see the arm there. It's kind of hard to see. And the loop there, that black loop. So that's attached to the arm, and it's very solid on there. So this is a gear that I can use to drive the pump. This pump here. I put this piece of wood on here because this shaft is way too big. This drive shaft that I'm going to use is just over here. It's a lot smaller, so I need to make the difference. Also got to get the torque in there, so I'm going to be gluing this piece of wood onto the shaft, and I have just screws that are going to clamp it together, transmit the torque. But what I need is a hole through here that's exactly in the middle when it's all together. And I think I came up with a pretty good way to do that. I have just duct tape wrapped around here, so this smaller drill bit fits right through the center, and that'll give me a hole that's right on the center in there, and I've already bolted it all together. So yeah, the duct tape just makes it wider on spots, and I have 2 pieces so that it's going straight through. So I'm going to drill a hole straight through here, and then I'm going to glue the shaft. It's going to go through here all the way through the wood piece. Alright, so here's my pump. You have the motor, which was free. There's gears, which runs this pump here. This is the oil pump from a car. Now what I've added now is all these fittings. So I have 1/2-inch copper pipes, and there's 2 pieces here that go into this pot. So what I'm going to do now is I just fit these together. I'm going to solder all these joints, and then I'm going to test it. So I'm going to run with the electric motor, I'm going to run the pump, and I'm going to pour out this side, and I'm going to suck into this pipe, and I'm just going to circulate the oil to test. Now, ultimately what I want to do is put this on the stove and heat up oil to simulate what's going to happen in a solar thermal car. So the sun will heat up the oil. In this case, I'm just going to use propane from the gas stove, and I'm going to circulate the hot oil to make sure all the joints are good, that the pump is okay with the high heat. I can see how the motor's heating up. I'm also going to have a thermocouple in the joint here, so I can check the thermocouple to make sure it's measuring the flowing oil. And after that, I should be able to start testing with the sun.